Hey y'all. I'm back. I'm back from Texas, and I had a absolutely amazing time, and I'm trying to get caught up. This is a journal I had finished before I left, and I just didn't want to rush, doing the video and trying to get all this stuff done before I left. So I just waited till I got back, and I have this one, and then I have the Dumbo one, and then there's another large journal made out of another children's book that I have the video for you. And I'm just going to do one video at a time, and when the videos go up, they'll be in my shop if anybody's interested. But I love the way this one turned out. It is so cute. I did the charm a little bit differently. I kind of took that take like Jessica did from Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventure, and I just used the little ring, and then I did the charm on the ring so you can remove the charm. And I used some hemp twine on this one because I thought it really went with this versus using the wax linen thread. And then I found these really awesome wooden beads. Some of these colored wooden beads I found recently at my favorite store, and then some vintage buttons, and so this is pretty much buttons, like little metal buttons and wooden beads on this one. I thought it turned out really cute. And then on the spine, I did do buttons on the spine. So there's a couple of my handmade buttons and then some other vintage buttons on the spine. And I also made one of my little scrap ties, and I put a little paper, one of my paper clips on here. And this one I thought sort of matched sort of the farmhouse barnyard theme. This is some vintage quilt pieces that is wrapped around this paper clip, and it's a little sun and vintage buttons. So that's the little paper clip. And the tie, which I love doing. I think this will probably be on all of my golden books until I run out of fabric, and I don't see that happening. But anyway, so this is the Jolly Barnyard. And this is the back. And what I did here was, like some of these, even though this is an older book, it has a little skew thing, and I just took a little vintage piece of quilt and just covered that up back here. And then some other little pieces of fabric and rickrack. And then this is the ticking fabric here. So there's probably about... there's over 80 pages in here, so that gives you 160 spaces, give or take. It might be more than that. And this book is 1978. Original printing was 1950. No, the 16th printing. This was actually 1980, but it's got a little more wear on it. So it really looks like more from the 70s, but really, really cute. And I did my little fabric tabs and buttons throughout, and scrapbook paper and pockets, and there's a little handmade collage, tag with fabric and paper made out of one of my little recycled file folder things. Tea-dyed paper. There's a pocket here, and this is a little farmhouse scene out of a little kid's one of those little kids' activity books. Ledger paper. And let me try not to say that 500 times as usual. Some of the vintage writing paper. More scrapbook paper. A little tag. And this one I covered with my vintage ledger on the back and scrapbook paper on the front. And this is a little piece of... It almost looks like some of the sack fabric, the feed or the flower sack fabric, but I don't think it is, but it has that vintage look to it. It's really cute. And I love the apple paper. And then there's some little recipe page from one of my little kids' recipe books. And then there's two of these in here. I did a little flip here, and I taped it in with some washi tape, so this stuff really sticks well. But these are some of the tags that I had started making from tea-dyed folders, and I decided just to use them as pockets and pages in my books, and this is from a vintage kids book, and I just thought it went really well in here. The little chick and the cute little duck and the little bird. And in the back, I just left plain for you to do whatever you want. Cardstock, and then I did more embellishing in this one than I did in the Dumbo one. So I made a little cluster, and that would be a little tuck. And look at the cows, aren't they so cute? And then I put a little piece of fabric washi here just to give a little bit of reinforcement, because some of these pages, when they're a little bit older, you know, just to give them a little more sturdiness. Now I did stitch the signatures in with wax linen thread, and then I put the little buttons in the middle of the signature. And the whole story's in here intact. And here's some more like fabric washi. On this one, I just stuck a little vintage little card in here. Well, it's a vintage image, printable, that I purchased online. And I cannot remember who that, I think it's K&B Friends, or KB and Friends. I'll try to remember to put that link in, and just a little label so you can use that wherever you want to. I just thought that was cute in here. More cardstock, another pocket, the other side of that kids writing book, little ducks, and more. This is washi tape here. This is also from Washi Wednesday. Some little fabric tab and buttons there. This is the other side of that little kids book, like little workbook. And it's a pocket on this side too. I just stitched it up. And in this one, I made a little tag with some fabric. And this is from I think this is from a piece of quilt and a little vintage milk cap. And then I put some tea-dyed ledger on the back and stitched around it. So you can put a picture on here. You could probably write on here, and you would probably need to use a thicker type of marker, but I thought it would be cute to either put a picture here and do writing on the back. So I just thought that was cute. Then I put a little piece of rickrack here. More fabric. And that's the end of that signature. So there's 3 signatures in here, and the first 2 include the whole story, and then the middle signature just has different varieties of paper and pockets for you to use. And this particular music says "In the Barnyard," and I believe that's from a vintage. I believe it's from a vintage book. Kids writing paper, vintage, lovely tea-dyed ledger that came in Renee's kits that I bought from her. This is the other flip out file folder piece that I made with the Washi Wednesday tape. It's a cute little cow. It's so cute. Some tea-dyed tracing paper. Little pocket here, and I just stuck a little flower and a little label here. And this came from another golden book. So it's The Farmer and the Dale, which I thought was really cute. And then this came, the Raggedy Man. This came from that, one of my Childcraft 1940s, 1947 or 49 book. I'll put that in the middle of this signature. Here I just clipped a little tag and this little tractor piece that actually came from some, I work for North Carolina Cooperative Extension, and we have an ag awareness week every year, and we had some flyers for that. Or this might have been Ag Day, like an ag legislative day, and I just cut the little tractor out of it. I thought it was cute. And I saved a bunch of those because I'm like, we're not throwing those out. So that's the other side of that other golden book page. Another pocket, and I put some vintage little word cards. It's like a little deck of cards that have different images on them, and a little tag. Lots of really, lots of blank space for you to do a lot of writing or add pictures. Whatever you want to do. This is just a little flip. And lots of cute little, you know, barn images and stuff. I think this book is so cute. I added one of my double-sided paper clips that I made, like the hidden paper clip. So as you can see right here, that's how it goes on the page, and they sit really flat. It's a little tricky to get it on there, but once you get it on there, it's just really cute, and you can actually hold things with it. So on this side, I have the little cowboy, a little cluster, and on this side, it's a little card, a little vintage card. And these little cards came from one of my customers that sends me some awesome things. And I believe this might be one of those, it's foreign. I think it's German. I don't know, it's really cute. So I put that on there. Clipped a couple of little pieces here with this really cool clip. And another one of those little cards. This got the little farmer guy cutting the wheat. And this is more writing, kids writing paper. Another one of the pages from that little kid's book that made a pocket out of it. Some of Renee's paper that was in the kit. Here I made a little tuck with one of the little cards and some vintage quilt and another little piece of fabric, and just put some these are little scrap pieces from a scrapbooking paper line that I thought went in here would be great little journaling spots. And this is an envelope. So I took a couple of little, I thought this was cute because that old phone. And couple of little pieces that you can journal on, little journaling cards in there. And this just tucks up underneath the little cap, the little milk cap. Another little page from that little kids recipe book and some labels I just clipped in for you. These little cows are so cute. And then this is the middle of this signature with the buttons. And then here I made a pocket out of some of the vintage fabric that came in Renee's kits. And then I made another little cluster tag with this. This came out of one of the nursery rhyme books that I've been using, and I still have a few things made with them that I hadn't completely used up yet, but I thought this was cute with the black hen, and I just made a little sort of collage tag, and I left the edges on that because I just liked the way that looked, and it's just on cardstock, but I thought that was cute. Hickety pickety. A little collage here on the other side of the envelope, and I cut this down to make a pocket and put this really cute little this little card in here. It's like a little farmhouse. Made it a tag. The other side of that kid's book, it's a Puzzle Mania book. Made a pocket there. More washi to kind of just give that, you know, more reinforcement. Plus, I think it just really looks pretty there. And most of these little pieces of fabric are either quilt or some vintage feed sack. I think most of them are vintage. And then that's the last page. More little vintage. This is actually vintage feed sack pieces of quilt pieces that came in Renee's kits. And then back here, excuse me. So this is the back, and I've signed it back here. And then there's a bunch of extra goodies in here for you. And I'm not gonna. I always send quite a few goodies. I try to send a good amount of extra goodies for you to use. But I'm not going to go through them all because I want you to kind of have a little surprise if you are the one that purchases this. So that is the Jolly Barnyard. And you know, there's a lot of things added in there, and me putting this back here makes it look pretty thick, but when you take that out, you know, you've got plenty of room to grow in this one. Okay. So anyhow, thank you guys for watching, and this one will be available in my Etsy shop. And thank you all for subscribing and for all your love and support. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you soon because I have several more videos to do. Love you guys. Bye.